Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your weekly reading, and this will be for the sign of Gemini. Gemini, this reading will roughly span the period between the 15th to the 21st of March, and I am using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot here for you. Please remember the readings are only general, they will flip-flop. And make sure you check out other aspects of your natal chart. If you're not sure how to do that, it's very important not just to listen to your sun sign. It's so important to have a look at all the other aspects of your natal chart. And you can do that via Cafe Astrology, but there's a few that have a natal chart. But it definitely makes a difference. So if the reading that you're listening to doesn't resonate, it may be that your moon sign or your rising will. Okay. A decision that requires you to balance things out here. Could be to do with money, spending, but definitely tossing up on a direction to go here, trying to work out what is the best thing to do. I feel that you've already got your eye on something here though. You definitely are looking at the pentacle that's higher in the sky. So there may be something you're reaching for, but you've definitely got to make sure that you're more stable. So it is about stability here for you. It is about making sure that you're in this right place to make this decision. Could be about a person, could be dealing with an Aries here. It could be that this person has offered you something more stable, but you're not sure if you can trust where it's coming from. I think that this person here is very determined and maybe a little bit more sort of controlling. The Emperor is a card of someone who really knows their direction. They've, had all the experiences and knowledge to make sure. So somebody wants something from you here. It could be something to do with a relationship, moving forward with a relationship, but it could also be someone that's offering you something to do with money. Okay, somebody wants to put in effort here. Regardless, there is the equal give and take, and we do have the Queen of Pentacles coming in here. So I really think that someone's asking you for a long-term commitment, but you're not really sure whether this is what you want or not. Very strong feeling that you're not really sure whether to move ahead. And I always think that's a little bit of a concern, because if you're not 100% convinced that you want to marry this person, then you need to make sure that you are right in the right place before you make that decision. Because sometimes we may be reluctant to make a commitment, but at other times it's not really about the commitment. There's something underlying it that makes you feel a bit nervous about this. So be very careful that you take the time out. Two of Swords coming in here. So the Two of Swords again is a decision. This is a little different though, because sometimes you reach a stalemate on this one. So because this person has the Two Swords, it means that, possibly they have to face their truth, maybe cut something out of their life, maybe cut something off altogether. So I feel like this decision may be difficult because it may mean removing somebody from your life altogether. But there is definitely the promise of something beautiful here. You may have a choice between two people, two situations. I feel like the universe is giving you an opportunity though here to have something very stable. Yeah, look at this. So you could be dealing with an earth sign here, because we did have the Queen of Pentacles too. There's definitely an offer of marriage. But you're sort of getting into this, trying to understand through your intuition here, what's being hidden from you here. Because you're feeling like something isn't on the up and up, like something's missing here. And you don't want to make this decision until you have all of the information. Interesting. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords here, which talks about winning the battle, but not necessarily the war. We definitely have a marriage being offered or some long-term commitment. Six of Wands, somebody's feeling very passionate about you and wants to move forward with you. Now, this could be you as well. But there's been some sort of conflict here which has made you feel a little unstable about the direction you're going in or where you're being led. So you may have had some sort of disagreement with this person, or it may be your ethics aren't lining up so much. So it could be this person has a certain view on something that doesn't marry with what you feel you want in a person. That's very interesting because I encountered that yesterday. You know, sometimes you can be so crazy about someone and they have a completely different political view for you. And you may have come from an industry or an area where, you know, politically you understand a little bit more of what's going on. And the other person may not. And sometimes that puts a screaming halt on a relationship, because if you disagree so greatly in one area, do you then accept that the other person has everything else, or does that one thing become the deal breaker? Let's keep going. Okay, so I have the 5 of Cups. So I feel like something here from your past is holding you up. King of Swords, this is you. Okay, 3 of Wands. So I strongly feel that you are trying to make a decision of whether to walk away from a situation or whether to commit. This is your decision here. This is what you're tossing up. And with this 2 of Swords, you know if you choose not to commit, then maybe you're giving away an opportunity here. I feel that you're waiting for all the information. So maybe it needs more time. Maybe everything hasn't been revealed yet. But somebody's offering you marriage and long term here, and you're definitely unsure. There seems or feels to me to be something that's standing in the way, something that you need more information about. And that will require communication. Perhaps this person, you know, even though they're good on every level, maybe they meet you on every level. Maybe they're a little too controlling. Maybe you're worried about them being a little narcissistic. Maybe that, you know, this give and take is not really happening at the level you want it to. I feel like you're ready to move forward, but just waiting for something more to be revealed here before you make a decision. There needs to be more communication. There needs to be an opening of emotion. That's what's missing here. This person is lacking emotion, or maybe quite cold. And maybe that's why you're having trouble trying to understand if they're right for you. You know, sometimes this sort of gives rise to that whole 5 languages of love, which is something I've sort of realized a lot more as I've got older. You know, sometimes people display love rather than speaking it. And if you're a person who needs to hear it and the other person is a person who needs to show it, sometimes it can create a little bit of disturbance in the relationship. So maybe it's something that's happening here where you're being really open and communicative with this person, and maybe they're showing you and obviously want to settle down with you and have something long term here, but maybe they're not telling you in a way that you understand, because there's a great deal of stability being offered, and certainly this relationship is here for you. But I feel like you're looking out wondering whether it's right for you or whether you should give it away and move on to something new. And it may be that this person loves you and you love them, but if it's something that you need to talk about, you need to ask them. You need to ask them to express to you how they're feeling. Tell them you need to hear it here. Whoa, lovely cards. You need to hear it. And I think that's the problem. I think this person isn't saying enough about how they feel. Okay, so we have the card of the beloved here, or the beloved. So it's card number 5. Okay. The beloved is the recognition of spirit in another and moving towards spirit through the other. It is when the divine appears to us in the form of our child, our parent, our friend, and we experience being in love. As we grow, we start to recognize the beloved in everyone, not confusing their personality with their divine nature. Accept the invitation to learn through the path of love. Expand your being through union with another. When you recognize the beloved in another, you call forth their highest and purest nature. Follow the path of love. So if you love this person, maybe you can work through this difference or this energy of not really being quite on the same page. Thanks, Gemini.